What if Deku finally opened his heart to Mina? Watch as emotions run high and unexpected sparks fly in this heartwarming twist. Don't miss it. We are in times where all the students of the UA were very stressed. They were finishing their first year, the exams were approaching, the villain league had been stopped in a frustrated attempt to attack Tartarus, with the serious cost of many heroes. The freckled man was hitting the air with one for all at 30%, he felt his muscles tear with each attack launched, waves of air came out with each punch or kick, but the freckled man did not stop, he continued and continued without stopping. Although it was a victory, the freckled boy's body had suffered several injuries over a large part of his body. His right arm, which was the one that dealt the final blow and prevented All for One from escaping, now he began to have a tick in his right arm causing it to tremble. The doctor told him that next time he would lose control of his entire arm. His mother was close to getting him out of the UA if it weren't for All Might intervening. Izuku was so happy his hero and teacher saved him once again or not. Every punch he threw was filled with rage and sadness, with words echoing in his mind. Young Midoriya, if you want to retire or not is your decision, do not judge me if you do, I gave you my responsibility without you knowing it. Did All Might doubt him? That was what was going on in the freckled boy's mind and it continued to torment him. He risked so much to control a part of that power, and now he was telling him that since he had done his job, he no longer needed to be a hero. Tears began to come out of his eyes. Arriving at UA and seeing everyone sad about the death of their teacher made him feel guilty. He had to be a support for everyone, especially for a certain brunette girl, although lately she was behaving very distant with him. Unlike what everyone believed, Izuku considered Uraka just a friend, his first friend. At first he thought it was a crush, but the crush happened when he noticed another girl. The accumulation of feelings only made that after a kick the one for all vanished. The freckled boy alone fell to the ground breathing exhausted and with tears falling. Izuku, I should give up between tears. A pink girl couldn't sleep. She was tossing and turning in bed until she decided to get up to eat something to see if she could fall asleep. Although she was worried about the written exam, she had to win it if she didn't want to throw all her effort into waste, but even with everything that happened she tries to keep her good spirits. Mina, let's see what's there, she said, searching in the refrigerator. Oh, find something. The girl takes out a lemon pie to walk to the living room and sit on the couch and eat the pie. Mina, should I ask Yamomo for help? Eats a piece. No, she is affected by what happened. Her face changes to one of sadness. That is interrupted by the sound of the elevator stopping at the floor. The pink-haired girl waits for someone to leave, but the door was still open and no one came out. The girl heard a small squeal coming from the elevator. The girl approaches to see what it was. The freckled boy managed to get up to walk to the elevator while his thoughts tormented him. And if he lost his arm and if the effort he made to fulfill his dream was useless, Kachan was right. Uraka realized it and that's why she began to avoid him. He was going to be alone again. He would continue to hurt his mother by continuing to fulfill that dream. The tears fell and the freckled boy rested his back on the elevator where he continued to cry. He was grateful that it was midnight so he wouldn't have to pretend to be okay. Mina, Midori, are you okay? She says, worried. At another time, Mina would appreciate the scene of having a boy with an enviable body covered in sweat, but now that boy, in addition to sweat, had tears. His body was expelling smoke. The boy had always seemed cute to her. She liked to tease him because of how nervous he got. Izuku, if I tell you the truth, would you mind? Everyone will find out and I'll be alone again, he answers between sobs. They hadn't talked that much but he couldn't deny that Mina's attitude encouraged him. He admired Mina for being so outgoing, but new doubts came to his mind. What if she makes fun of me? What if she tells the whole class? Will everything go back to how it was in high school? The freckled boy put his hands on his ears, but a soft hand on his hair makes him look up. Mina, sure, because I wouldn't mind, she said to give him a smile. Izuku, beautiful, he said unconsciously as he stops crying. Sorry Ashido, he said, super nervous and blushing because he realized what he said. Mina, wow, Midori, I didn't know he was so fearless, helping the freckled boy to get up. Izuku, thanks Ashido, he said to give him a fake smile. Mina, Midori speaks, she said, making a face of annoyance at the freckled boy's fake smile. Izuku, Ashido, sorry I didn't want you to see me like this, he said to shed tears again. I'm supposed to be happy we stopped the league. We're about to finish the first year and my arm. He falls silent. Mina, what's your arm? Midori? She said, worried. Izuku, if I tell you, you promise not to tell anyone, he said, seeing himself cornered by the girl. Mina, well, I promise, she said to smile at him. Izuku, do you remember camp? Mina, yes, I remember. Izuku, can we go sit down? The girl nods and walks to a sofa where they sit together. Mina, now yes Midori, she smiles tenderly, making the freckled boy blush. Izuku, after getting hurt at camp they told me I couldn't break my arm again. If I broke them 3 or 4 more times, I would lose mobility, he said, and the tears came out again. Now after this battle he looks at his hand starting to shake, and the girl looks at the hand that grabs it but keeps shaking. I can't move it like before and I have this tic. The hand stops shaking. My mother wants me to drop out of school, but All Might convinced her, and then tells me not to judge me for leaving. Her tears become more intense. My idol and teacher indirectly tells me that I should give up. Have I just disappointed him? The girl looks him in the eyes. For the first time in my entire life I am doubting whether to be a hero. I'm only hurting my mother with this. Kachan told me that I will always be useless. A deku, Uraka, has already begun to move away from me. She realized it. I don't want to be alone. Not again. When I knew happiness, I didn't want to leave it. He stopped talking when he felt a hug from the girl. Mina, you are not alone. Midori crying too, but if anyone deserves to be a hero it is you. She hugs him tighter. You try harder than us to achieve it. You can't give up. The minutes passed and the two remained hugging until Izuku fell asleep. Mina looks at Izuku tenderly. Mina, he's so cute, but she looks worried. Everything you've carried alone. She feels her eyelids get heavier. Maybe just a few minutes. She closes her eyes and falls asleep. 7 a.m. Mina is the first to wake up, who feels Izuku's entire body on top of her. She notices that Izuku had no sleeves and can see the freckled boy's muscular bicep, and then looks at the freckled boy's face, making him blush. Mina, thank goodness today is the weekend and nobody gets up early except. Just at that moment he sees how the elevator was called, which alerts and wakes up Izuku whispering in his ear. Mina, Midori wakes up. She sees how the boy trembles and just lets out a silent laugh at that. Izuku, Ashido opens his eyes wide upon hearing the girl and blushes more when he sees how the girl and he still haven't broken the hug. Mina, now is not the time for you to faint, she said, laughing at the freckled boy and letting go. He replied to the action. Just as the elevator opens, revealing Tenya Lita, the impeccable student and one of the freckled boy's best friends, the two young men quickly separate. Lita, oh, Midoriya, I see you went out to train early, she said, looking at the freckled boy blushing and very nervous. Good morning Ashido, it's strange that you're awake at this time. Mina, I was going to leave early today, she said nervously. Lita, with nothing else to say, leaves the place. Mina, in my room in half an hour, she said to leave. The bundle of nerves known as Izuku was only perplexed at what had just happened. He slept with a girl, not just any girl, but the girl, and more importantly he told her everything. The freckled boy ran to his room. Izuku, now what do I do? He said, walking from one side to the other. Should I go? Should I pretend nothing happened? And why am I going to a girl's room? Come on Izuku, you fought all for one, what is this? I can do it, walking to the door determined. First I have to take a shower. Returning to the bathroom in his room. A pink girl was laughing out loud in her room. Mina, that will keep your head busy with other things. She suddenly blushes when she sees her room in disarray. I told her to come. She gets out of bed. He begins to tidy his room and takes a shower. Time passes and a freckled man is already in front of the door, doubting whether to knock, but he makes up his mind and knocks. Mina, Midori, jumps and hugs him, making the boy blush and nervous. If there was one thing Mina thought was cute about Izuku, it was when he got nervous about anything. Momo, Mina and Midoriya? Upon hearing the voice of her dark-haired friend, they separate. Mina, yeah Momo, good morning, she said nervously and blushing. Momo, what are you doing with Midoriya so early? Could it be that? Mina, I asked him to help me study for my final exams. Momo, and why him? She said, pouting. Mina, because you already have many studying with you and the other options were Lita, Bakugo or Midori. She jumps at the boy again, blushing. Izuku, Ashido, he managed to say between nervousness. Mina, call me Mina, she said, smiling at him and blushing, and I'll call you Izu. She winks at him. Momo, oh well, thanks Mina and Midoriya, that's one less person. Walks to the elevator. Good luck. Mina walks in on Izuku, who sees Mina's room. Izuku, I'm in a girl's room. Izuku had to admit that Mina was a beautiful girl, especially with that black shirt and those shorts that left her thighs visible. Izuku, no Izuku, control yourself, you're not Mineta. The girl watched the boy laughing. She had noticed that he was looking at her. Mina, do you like something you see Izu-kun? He leans towards the freckled boy, bringing their faces closer and making Izuku even more nervous and red. Izuku, excuse me, he said, looking away, very close, but he puts on a serious face in a few moments. Mina knew it was coming. Mina, Izu, she said, speaking first, could you help me study? The serious face changes to one of sadness and he looks down. Izuku, you knew it, he just wants something from you. His hand begins to shake until he feels the girl's hand which had a worried face. Mina, you misunderstood me, she smiles at him. I called you because I'm worried about you. From now on I'll always be there for you. She hugs him. I told you last night. She only hears a silent sob. Let it out. She feels them hug her tighter. After a while they part ways and Izuku wipes away his tears. Mina, but we are not going to study today, it's the weekend and it's early, haven't you had breakfast yet? She shakes her head. Well then wait here. She runs out of the room. Mina arrived and brought 2 sandwiches for the 2 of them. The morning passed between talks and laughter. Who would say that the shy Midoriya was so funny? Toru, Mina, are you there? He said, alerting the boys. Mina, Izu hide, she might misinterpret this, she said, knowing what her friend was like. Izuku spins around nervously until he hits a wall. Toru, what was that blow? Is everything okay, Mina? She said, worried. Mina, yes. Alone, I was in the bathroom, she said nervously. Toru, oh hey, he said through the door. Who is it today? Will it be Midoriya again? He said, making both of them blush inside the room. Izuku, what is Ashi talking about? I mean Mina? He said, blushing. Mina, you're welcome, just hide, pushing him under the bed. Hello Toru, she said, opening the door. Toru, you're not ready yet, we were going to go out with the girls today. Mina, I forgot, she said, sticking out her tongue. Toru, hurry up, you're the only one missing. It's going to be noon and we want to have lunch together. Mina/Izuku, half a day? They thought, surprised. Toru, he looks at her friend with dry hair. So I wasn't wrong, you were playing alone. Mina, I'll see you downstairs, I shouted to close the door, get out. Izuku, that was awkward getting out of bed. I'll go out the window, see you tomorrow? Mina, tomorrow? Izuku, didn't you want me to help you study? Mina, I had fun talking to you that I forgot that detail that made the freckled boy blush. Izuku, we have 2 weeks for the exam, so let's get ready. Walking to the window. Mina, see you, Izu, causing the freckled boy to blush more and leave the window. 2 days before the exams, Izuku had helped Mina all this time, secretly because they didn't want their relationship to be confused with something more. Mina also helped Izuku and discovered how the young green-haired boy was carrying such a heavy load and still smiled at everyone. For the part the freckled boy realized Mina's worries about school and a simple Izuku, Mina, you are an amazing person and it's okay to fail, we all fail, what makes us different is that we keep going. Mina began to see that Izuku, not as the shy boy who trembled for everything, but as the Izuku who was a hero to everyone, and she began to help him, trying to make him have more confidence in himself, which to be Izuku they advanced quickly for the short time they had been together. Inexplicably in that time they had become very good friends. As always in the afternoons they were in Mina's room, because Izuku's made Mina uncomfortable. When they got bored of studying they talked and it didn't seem like they would run out of topics of conversation. Izuku, hey Mina, he said nervously. Mina, yes? Lying down while watching Izuku sitting in a chair. Izuku, it's nothing, just, he said, so that Mina gets up and throws herself at him. The truth is that she began to enjoy bothering Izuku and also his warmth. Mina, tell me, Izu. She did this and giggled at the blushing freckled boy who was nervous, but also enjoyed the girl's hugs. Izuku, you've worked so hard that I think you should rest for these 2 days, he said, still blushing, looking away. Mina, don't you want to come tomorrow? Pretending to be sad and hugging him more. Seeing Izuku on the verge of fainting, she lets go and laughs. Izuku, it's not that, it's just that maybe you got fed up with me, he said, looking down. Mina, I don't think it's possible to get fed up with you. Realizing what she said, she blushes and poor Izuku faints from embarrassment. The pink one manages to stop him before he hits the ground and takes him to the bed. Mina sees the face of the unconscious freckled boy. Mina, you are so cute, blushing and touching a freckle while smiling. Mina had already gotten used to those thoughts over the past few days. Every time she saw Izuku she appreciated him more and more tenderly. As for our fainted freckled boy, he tried not to turn into Mineta. It was normal for him to feel nervous, but with a girl like Mina it was even more than normal. Besides being one of the most outgoing and cheerful girls he knew, she was also the most extravagant. Our young bundle of nerves woke up a while later. Izuku, Mina wakes up confused and the girl laughs. Mina, Izu holding back her laughter, since you slept, you must be tired, she said, making the boy blush. Izuku, what are you talking about, Mina, he said nervously and blushing. Mina, I'm just kidding, she said to laugh at the boy. So? You're not coming tomorrow? Izuku, if you want, but I can't on Thursday, I'm going to train with all might. I think I shouldn't have told him that. I also want to ask you something else. The girl looks at him and sees his serious face. Why did you decide to be a hero? Mina, why are you asking me that? She said with a serious face, something that surprised the freckled boy, but did he know why? Izuku, these days I've been wondering why you were pretending to smile, he said, earning an annoyed face from the girl, but the shy boy was not the one present. Something I like about you is that you always say what you think. That made the girl blush, who tried to hide it with her anger. You are so cheerful and expressive. But, he clenches his fists since everything that happened with All for One and Midnight Sensei, he was interrupted. Mina, but that's nothing compared to what you're suffering. She almost screamed angrily for Izuku to grab her by the shoulders. Izuku, but that doesn't make you suffer any less. You've helped me these days and I want. Let me tell you a story. What do you think of my quirk? Mina, it's amazing, just like you. Maybe those high school kids were just jealous of you. I hate those bullies, she is interrupted. Izuku, I am quirkless. I shouldn't have said that. He sees the girl's confused face. I mean, I was quirkless for a long time. This surprised the girl. When starting the course she heard Bakugo make fun of Izuku with that, but she thought it was just because of Bakugo's way of being. Kachan and I were best friends when we were little, all until he awakened his quirk and the boy's sad face could be seen. He began to make fun of me along with another group of boys, but I never stopped smiling. No matter how much everyone told me to give up the dream of being a hero, I never stopped, nor did I stop smiling. He gives her a sad smile. That smile you have now is the one I had in my worst stage. High school, it was when Kachan was more violent and worse in every way. The girl's annoyed face was noticeable until one day she told me that if I wanted to have a quirk, she gulped, that I should go up to the roof and jump. I was all afternoon at the shore saying that the girl separated from him to go to the door. Izuku knew she would go to complain to the ashen-haired boy that he likes that about Mina. Not now. He stopped her and hugged her. She just blushed, but everything changed one day when a person finally told me that I could be a hero and save everyone with a smile. Mina, like All Might. Izuku, it was exactly him who told me that a quirkless can be a hero. Why do I keep talking too much? His arm starts to shake. Mina, did you know All Might before? Looking into his eyes. Izuku, that doesn't matter now. I look into her eyes too, but with sadness, although now she doubts me. Mina, no, he doesn't. He just cares about you. He knows about your arm. She proceeds to grab his arm to try to calm him down. Izuku, but that doesn't matter. You know why? Because I entered the academy and for the first time I had friends. I didn't have a quirk my whole life, but I got one that allowed me to be here. Their gazes deepen, causing them to get dangerously close. I met many good people, but one girl stood out above all. Maybe the happiest, funniest, strongest, and even if she doesn't know it or wants to pretend not to, admirable. The distance between them was almost zero. They could feel each other's labored breathing. Mina, Izu, they were both blushing but lost in each other's sight until a loud noise brought them out of their thoughts. Bakugo, damn, half I told you those were my puddings. Bakugo ruined another moment with his explosions and screams. Both blushing young people separate. This time both Mina and Izuku were so nervous. They spent a few minutes without saying anything, just looking at the ground. Then the pink girl was the first to speak. Mina, so. You'll come tomorrow, she said, blushing. Izuku, yes. But I have to go, he said, to leave the room without discretion. But luckily for both of them, everyone was trying to stop Bakugo and Todoroki. Mina, it can't be. I almost kissed him, she said, falling on her bed. But I like Eijiro. She remembered all the time that's been happening lately and how only he realized that she wasn't okay. But I can't deny that I also wanted to kiss him. Who would say that Izu can be so handsome sometimes? She remembered that she didn't say anything to Izuku, and just then there was a knock on the door again. Izuku, are you going to tell me? He said, sticking to the door. Mina, are you still here? She said, getting up to open the door. Izuku, you know, I'd like to know why you're like this. He sounded worried, something that touched the girl. She opens the door and the freckled man's body falls to the floor. The girl, upon seeing this, just lets out a loud laugh. Mina, what are you doing on the floor, handsome? Izuku, I thought you weren't going to open after. He blushes, but that doesn't matter. You're going to tell me he is helped up, both of them still laughing. Mina, sometimes you are so cute, she said, to blush after realizing, just like the freckled one. Izuku, well, trying to avoid fainting from embarrassment. If you don't want to talk about it with me. I understand. He tries to be sad, and just when Mina tries to stop Mina, a third voice appears. Uraka, Mina, are you there? He said from the door. Izuku and Mina get nervous, and Mina only manages to push the freckled boy, who understands and jumps out the window, activating his whip to avoid a fall, to which the brunette enters, finding a nervous girl. Uraka, are you okay? Are you blushing? Mina, It's nothing, just a flu. She faked a cough and the brunette squints her eyes in a sign of distrust. Why were you looking for me? Uraka, it was that Kirishima was looking for you. The freckled boy heard this and became sad. Mina looked out the window and saw a piece of black whip. Mina, tell him not now, I'm busy with something. Uraka, okay, are you studying? I look over my shoulder at some books on the bed. Mina, yes, one learns with the best company, she said mischievously, and the freckled hanged man noticed. Uraka, okay? She said and left surprised. Mina turns around and sees that the whip was entering through the window looking for support, which the pink-haired girl gives her until she climbs onto Izuku. Mina, I never said I didn't want to talk to you, silly, she said to smile at him, making the freckled boy blush because of the closeness. Izuku, very close, he clenched his fist. It's my chance to get revenge, really? So do you want to talk to me? I did it, he gets closer to the girl causing her to blush and he avoids fainting. Mina, are you really that interested in me? She said, blushing and nervous. Mina Ashido was nervous, and was she nervous for him? Izuku, of course I care a lot, the girl just sighs after those words. Mina, I'll tell you, she smiles mockingly and approaches Izuku and kisses him on the cheek. Tomorrow we have practical classes, so rest today. After that she laughs at how blushed and disoriented the boy was. Izuku, on the verge of fainting. Mina, you better go soon, gallant, she nudges him as she walks to the door and peeks in to see that no one is there. Okay, go on. See you tomorrow, Izu. The freckled boy comes out blushing, and with his quirk he sneaks away between Aizawa's scolding of Bakugo and Todoroki for fighting, arriving at his room. Izuku, it can't be, remembering everything. She touches her cheek. She remembers her attitude. How did I do that? Even more blushed. Normal if she's the girl I like. That's right, the girl who earned the freckled boy's size was the pink one with an electrifying personality. And how it all started. The freckled boy thought it was admiration, but he couldn't be more wrong. The hormones hit our dear green-haired boy, noticing how little by little he couldn't stop thinking about his pink companion, both in her imperative and enthusiastic personality, and to the freckled boy's embarrassment how beautiful the girl seemed to him. He didn't know whether to approach him. He always thought that everyone in the classroom saw him as the weird stalker of All Might, but living with the pink girl only confirmed what he had thought before. Izuku, Kirishima, he said the name and then became sad. I shouldn't get my hopes up, it's obvious that she and Kirishima like each other. All the spirit that the freckled boy had disappeared after those words, and the freckled boy, with all his spirit now gone, got ready to go to sleep. Mina was going to meet her friends at the cafeteria. She left later because Aizawa-sensei called her to tell her how important this exam was for her. The girl walked to turn and see something that surprised her and made her leave from there. Kirishima, that was it, he said when the girl separated from his lips. Setsuna, just a thank you for helping me and maybe an invitation to something more, she said seductively. Kirishima, look, you're very pretty and I like you. But, how do I say this without upsetting her? Setsuna, calm down, bad boy. She approaches the boy again to kiss him and stun him. It's just a way out. You can refuse if you want. It seems that I'm going to lose the bet. Flashback. Setsuna along with all the girls from Class B were talking about their afternoon before leaving.
Setsuna, and the one from Class A, I think it was Kirishima, he helped me with some villains we met on Sunday.
Kendo, another one falls into your nets, she said so that the others laughed. Setsuna, I think he was just chivalrous. They are like that in Class A, she said to look annoyed at her classmates. Kendo, they are just interested. Setsuna, of course not, although they are cute. Kendo, if you think that, let's bet you won't get a date with anyone from Class A. Setsuna, how much do you want to lose? End flashback. Mina entered the cafeteria still surprised by the situation. She was surprised because she thought that she and Kirishima had feelings for each other, but she would still support her friend. It's not like the boys were her biggest problem right now. She would try not to tell anyone. If they hadn't said anything it was for a reason. But Mina was dying to tell someone. Her sociable personality made her a lover of gossip, but Kirishima was her friend and she didn't want to do that to him. Besides, her classes and not failing the exam are more important. Kirishima, hey guys, arriving at the table where Mina was with Sero, Kaminari, Momo, Jiru and Toru. You didn't guess what just happened to me. Mina, I have to support him, remember Mina. Kirishima, Setsuna from Class B, the one I helped asked me out, but I rejected her. Kaminari, what? He said surprised. Sero, are you aware of who you rejected? Kirishima, but it seems that he wasn't the only one who was interested. Toru, so he has another objective. Mina, it's from our classroom. Kirishima, even if you don't believe it, it's Midoriya. He surprised everyone and made Mina get up from her seat before everyone's eyes. Mina, bathroom ! I need to go to the bathroom. She leaves quickly. Toru, okay? But Kirishima counts. In the UA hallways, a pink-haired girl was heading straight to the bathroom and sending a message, while in the cafeteria the boy was eating with Todoroki Lita and Uraka, the latter almost ignoring him, which made the freckled boy feel bad. He feels his cell phone vibrate, and when he sees that it is a message from the girl, he blushes. Lita, Midoriya, are you okay? She said when she saw the red boy. Izuku, yes, I just need to go to the bathroom, he said to get up. The brunette girl saw the boy leave, which made her sad. The freckled boy saw the pink girl in the distance, walking calmly. Izuku, hey girl, what's wrong? The girl hugs him cheerfully, blushing and making him feel nervous. Hey, what's going on? Mina, nothing, she said, separating from the hug. I just wanted to talk to you for a while. She looks over her shoulder at a green-haired girl approaching. But we're going this way. She grabs him by the hand and leads him running through the halls to the back of the school. It seems we lost them. Izuku, Mina. My hand, he said, blushing and very nervous about continuing to hold hands. Mina, you're upset, she said, approaching the boy. Where is the Izu from yesterday? She said, blushing but excited, while the boy became a bundle of nerves. Izuku, no, it doesn't bother me, he said, trying to look away. Mina, really? She said excitedly and blushing. Well, let's sit down. But then the bell rings. Damn, she said, pouting, which seemed cute to the boy. Izuku, well, I think we have to let go. Mina, realizing that they were still holding on, let's go. Mina, well, let's go too. I'll see you in the afternoon? Izuku, if we don't end up very tired. Yes. At that comment the girl laughed. In the afternoon. The pink girl was a little nervous because after training she went out to organize her room and also to look for a movie to watch with Izuku and bother him in the process, but it was already taking a while, so she decided to go out to the living room to see if she found the green-haired boy. In the room were some of his companions, among them the two-colored one who also seemed to be looking for freckled. Shoto, excuse me Ashido, do you know where Midoriya is? Mineta, I saw him leave after the delicious girl from Class B told him to meet up after class. He gets a lick. Tsuyu, you're disgusting, referring to someone like that. Toru/Mina, really? Both girls screamed, although not for the same reason. Toru wanted to spy on the situation, while Mina was worried about the freckled boy, since being very innocent the girl could try. The pink one turned violet with blush when she remembered what happened between them, that although Mina already had her first kiss and boyfriend in high school, with Kirishima she has never had a moment like that, and she never expected it to be with the freckled boy. Toru, Mina, the girl turns to her invisible friend. We have to see what happens, she said very excitedly. Without waiting for an answer, the girl took the rose, who seemed to be unsure whether to go. Behind the Class B buildings. The freckled boy was nervous. It wasn't every day that a classmate from another class called you from behind a building. Setsuna, you were very excited to come, she said flirtatiously. Izuku, hey. Hello Tokage-san, he said nervously, why did you call me? At that moment, some girls had arrived at the place and were hiding, one with an invisible smile and the other with a worried face, although not so noticeable. Setsuna, well. Let's just say I'm bored this weekend, she approaches the boy who was now a bundle of nerves. Izuku, really? She could barely speak because she was super red. Setsuna, well. What if you, she gets closer to the boy, and I go out, to get to know each other better.
Izuki, the freckled boy was about to faint from being so close to the green-haired girl.
Setsuna, come on. It'll just be a friend's outing. Unless you're interested in something more. She was so close that their lips were only centimeters apart. A cry of excitement is heard behind both of them, which made the freckled man move away immediately. Toru, Midoriya is going on a date, he says, and then screams again. Izuku, Hagakure-san, looks at the pink companion who had a face between joy and frustration. Mina. Setsuna, then write me to arrange if we go out on Saturday. She hands him a paper with her number. I knew it would be easy to get him to accept, she thought as she left the place. Toru, so you were seeing each other secretly? Is this the first time this has happened to you, Midoriya? Several questions overwhelm the freckled boy so much that he ends up fainting. Mina, I think you went too far. Toru, but don't you see it? Someone noticed Midoriya. I thought he was going to be single all year. You know how weird he is with the All Might thing. Mina, maybe yes, But it has other good things. Toru, we have to interrogate him. Mina, the best thing would be to follow him on his date, she said with double intention. Toru, exactly excited. Mina, I think I'll wake him up. She bends down and starts shaking him until he wakes up. You seem to be quite the gentleman. Izuku, mine, blushing, jumping up. I have to go. Toru, I guess we can wait until Saturday and then we'll interrogate him. In Izuku's room. Izuku, what just happened? Throwing himself on the bed and then lifting the paper to see the number. If you took the trouble to do this, at least you should try, but, he blushes again. I've never gone out with a girl. Then a message arrives to the freckled boy. It was from a certain pink girl who was present. Mina, are you very busy preparing for your date? This makes the freckled boy blush more, but he remembers that he promised to go to his room. Izuku, I hope he doesn't ask me too many questions. The freckled boy prepared to go to the pink girl's room in total secrecy. Luckily it seemed that Toru and the girl herself decided not to say anything, so their companions did not pay much attention to him. Upon reaching the room, the girl opens it and pulls the freckled boy who was blushing and sits him on the bed. Mina, so a date, she said in a flirtatious voice. Izuku, it's just a friend's outing. Mina didn't know why, but that calmed her down. Mina, well. Leaving that aside, she shows the laptop to the boy. We can watch these movies, I like them and maybe you don't know them. For the first time, the pink girl wanted to avoid asking about love topics. Maybe it was a combination of knowing how the freckled boy reacts to that, or also because she felt strange thinking about Izuku on a date. For his part, the freckled man was calmer and managed to feel comfortable and remember why he was here. Izuku, let's go watch movies, he said, calmer but still nervous. But first, remember what you promised me. The pink one looks at him and then remembers that she had promised the freckled boy, and upon seeing him she could see genuine concern for the girl. Mina, if I tell you, you won't tell anyone, right? The boy looks at her confidently and calms her down and then nods. Well. These tests are so important because if I don't pass them, I'll have to repeat the year. He surprised the boy. The principal and teachers came to an agreement. Thanks to participating in the Tartarus, they won't kick me out of school if I lose, but my grades are very low and I need to win these tests to raise them. Also, I don't know if I'm ready to be a heroine. For example, you started by breaking your bones, and just in that mission you managed to defeat the villain that All Might fought against. You were also the most heroic of all, while I couldn't help Midnight Sensei that. She begins to cry but then feels a heat surround her. Izuku, don't say that, he said with total seriousness. You are the most wonderful girl. You are Mina Ashido, someone who like me is in the best hero school, and it is for a great reason. You are as much a hero as me, or even more. Maybe things are complicated for you in your studies, but these days that I have helped you have shown me that you are much more capable than you think, and above all you are the girl with the most spirit in the school, so much so that you infect everyone around you. That is something that makes a hero, but that does not mean that you have to smile all the time, you should also let it out. The freckled boy could feel the girl hug him tightly as she let out her feelings in the freckled boy's arms. A few minutes passed until they finally separated. Mina, thank you very much. The girl smiles at him and he blushes. Do you really think all that? Izuku, I think that and more, he said, looking away when he feels another hug from the girl Mina. Mina, now with that done, she wipes away some tears and smiles again. Are we going to watch a movie? Izuku, yes, he said excitedly, I'm going to watch a movie with Mina. In the B-class dormitories. Setsuna, pay up, I got Midoriya to ask me out. Kendo, wow, Midoriya? Setsuna, that's right, I wanted a challenge and it was very difficult for me to achieve it. He puffs out his chest. Kendo, well, she said, annoyed, giving him money. Setsuna, like taking candy from a baby, counting the bills. Kendo, and when will you have the date? Setsuna, I think on Saturday, although it will be a bit awkward. Have you seen him? He's very shy, poor thing. Kendo, well, good luck with that. Right now Mina and Izuku were kissing in the hallways before reaching the green-haired boy's room. The pink-haired girl couldn't believe it. This whole night had become such a magical night in a matter of seconds, and it was all thanks to the shy boy with a heart of gold who she had found out she owned. But how did we get to this? 2 days before. Aizawa, you guys, he looks with a serious face at the girl who was with Kaminari, Aoyama, Sero and Toru. Congratulations, see you next year. He smiles sincerely because he didn't want any of the offspring to be left behind. The boys hug each other when they find out that they will be with their classmates next year. They were about to leave but a voice stops the pink one. Aizawa, Ashido. You really surprised me, you came in 6th place in the class. The girl just smiles and walks away. After The boys had planned to celebrate, but the only ones who knew about their problems were Lita, Momo, and Izuku, although the latter only knew about the pink one. Right now they were in the common room. Sero, and do you think we can have a party? Toru, I doubt it, Aizawa-sensei said. The less they knew the better, isn't that true, Mina? Mina, yes, I'll catch up with them later, she said to separate from the group when she saw a green-haired boy who seemed to be coming back a little blushed. Izuku, oh Ashed, he doesn't finish when in front of everyone he hugs the freckled boy who was now about to faint. Mineta, damn Midoriya, he screamed with tears of blood. Lita, Midoriya didn't know you were so close to Ashido. The freckled boy just stammered, blushing, and the extrovert was holding back her laughter seeing the freckled boy in that state. More questions were going to rain down on both of them, but a black-haired girl came to save mainly the green-haired girl. Momo, don't think badly of Midoriya, Mina is just thanking him for helping him study. Kyoka, it's true that Mina got a very high grade for one of them. Mina, that was cruel. Jiru, the girl just shrugs her shoulders. Izu helped me a lot and explains as well as Yamomo, even better. Izuku, Mina-san, thank you, he said, super embarrassed. All of this was seen by a brunette who had lowered her head. Toru, and Midoriya. Are you ready for your date with Tokage tomorrow? This embarrassed Izuku even more. Before Mina could say anything, Uraka raised her voice. Uraka, Deku-kun, can we talk? He said to everyone's surprise, since lately everyone had been ignoring the freckled boy. The boy just smiled when he saw that his first friend wanted to talk to him, but seeing her serious face made him think the worst. The boy nodded and walked. The pink-haired girl followed Izuku with her gaze, who was lost in the elevator with Ochako Uraka, something that for many did not seem obvious and for others it did, but Uraka liked Izuku, and assuming how downcast the freckled boy had looked sometimes when she ignored him, she assumed it was reciprocal, right? Now in the freckled man's room. Uraka, forgive me Deku-kun, she said, bowing. Izuku, because Uraka-san, he said, surprised. Uraka, the truth is that I've been avoiding you because, she blushes and gets nervous, because I like you and I wanted to deny it, she screamed mentally, because you defeated all for one, and the truth is that where that leaves us, I guess I idealized you and I walked away thinking that I could never be your friend, and also that of, tears came out and then I felt a warm hug from the person in front of her. Izuku, I understand Uraka. Even I am terrified to think about all that, but we have each other, you are my first friend and almost my sister, he said, hugging her lovingly. The girl only felt relieved. Outside the room, a curious pink-haired girl followed them, and she also felt happy since she knew how important Uraka was to Izuku. It was obvious that the freckled boy cared about each of his friends, even Bakugo, even with the horrible person he had been to him. Uraka, Deku-kun, I heard about your date. This caught Mina's attention and made Izuku look curiously at his friend. Do you want advice or something? He said with apparent innocence. Izuku, thanks Uraka, but it's not that serious, he said, somewhat blushing. I want to make mistakes to learn. Besides, it's my first date with a girl. Even though I don't like her, he gets nervous and starts moving his hands. It's not that she's not pretty and it's not that I'm not excited, but I want to have fun and make her have a good date, he said to smile still nervously. Mina may not have seen the scene, but she could imagine the glow coming from Izuku at that moment. Mina, how lucky Uraka is. She didn't know why, but she felt a little envious and decided to leave, but another question caught her attention. Uraka, so you don't like it? Why did you accept? Izuku, no, I don't like her and I practically didn't accept her, but I still feel happy that she noticed me. The next day, Kaminari, Lita, Sero and Momo entered the room where everyone was except Izuku, who it was no secret was getting ready. Kaminari, guys, party confirmed, he shouted, surprising everyone. Lita, Kaminari and Sero convinced me to suggest to Aizawa-sensei if he would allow us to have a farewell party and Christmas too, since they know we only have a few days before we go on break. At that moment the elevator dings, and when it opens it shows a blushing and shy freckled boy but with a smile. Izuku, and they're all gathered together? He said, turning away. Everyone was impressed, but more so two girls who seemed not to take their eyes off the freckled boy. Then Kaminari approaches and puts his arm around the green-haired boy's shoulder. Kaminari, dude, you look like quite the hunk, I hope you dress like that for the night. Izuku, thanks Kaminari, wait. At night? He said curiously. Lita, Midoriya, we're going to have a party tonight, you can rest assured, we'll take care of it, enjoy your date, moving her hands like a robot. The girls, Uraka and Mina, were still enthralled with Izuku, but the Rose had an evil smile and approached the freckled boy who was talking to Lita and Kaminari. Mina, wow Izu, you really look very handsome. She places her hand on the freckled man's chest. Maybe the next date you have won't be too far away. She raises her hand to her chin. Izuku, I honestly wouldn't have a problem with that, he whispered, now being heard by a blushing pink-haired girl. Kaminari, dude, you didn't finish your date and you already got another one, he said, only referring to Mina's comment. Uraka, Deku-kun, good luck with your date, I think you're running late, right? She said, somewhat jealous, coming out of the trance due to the flirting that was normal for everyone, since they knew Mina and how she liked to tease Izuku even though he still always made her jealous. Later, Mina, Toru, Sato and Ojiro were divided to do shopping for the night's party. Mina managed to see a head of green hair. It hadn't even been 30 minutes since she had left and now she was curious to see how her date started. Toru, well, we still have some things left on the list, shall we split up? Mina, yes, she said, distractedly looking at the fountain where a boy's hair could be seen among the people. Tell me what it is that I have to do. Toru, she sent you a message testing the list part and a little confused because her friend didn't complain at any point. The Rose walked towards the fountain where she was going to euphorically greet the freckled man, but she could hear his tears. Several people just looked at him with pity while he ate what seemed to be a small box of chocolates. The girl felt very sad for the freckled man and was a few seconds away from moving and comforting him. She just wanted to go and hug him, but the freckled man's voice and his words were present first. Izuku, just a silly bet, he said through tears as he threw the box of chocolates into a trash can. I knew that no one could like me, much less girls as cool as her, and as a fool in love with. Midoriya? Said a male voice. Izuku, hey, looks up to see one of his soon-to-graduate senpais and a pink girl. It's you, Tamaki-senpai. Tamaki, what's wrong? He said worriedly. The emo Avenger may not be as friendly with Izuku as Mirio, but he still cares about him. Izuku, it's nothing, Tamaki-senpai, sorry for bothering you and your companion. Tamaki, she's my girlfriend, let me introduce her to you. Sakura Haruno, she said, grabbing the boy's arm. Izuku, excuse me, I thought you and Nijiro-senpai. Tamaki, Nijiro is a good friend and I don't think you or I or even Mirio are her type, he said with a small laugh. Izuku, I think I understand, wipes away his tears. I don't want to bother him, I was already leaving. Sakura, if you want, you can come with us and tell us. Amajiki-kun is the best at listening and giving advice. She hugs the boy and makes him blush. Tamaki, I wouldn't say that. But if Midoriya needs it, I have no problem, he said, blushing and stuttering. Izuku, thanks, but it's nothing. You should enjoy your last days before being a professional hero and not waste time with me. I don't deserve it, he said to get up and run away, ignoring a pink girl he passed by. Tamaki, poor thing. Is she the girl Mirio told me he liked? Sakura, how cruel is that girl then? Tamaki, from what Mirio said, she was a very outgoing girl in his class, although I don't think his class would be capable of doing that to him. Mina, does Izu like someone in our class? It's obviously Uraka, remember the list. I think it would be better to leave this and go with Izu. In Izuku's room. The boy didn't cry that much but preferred to go to his room. Izuku had his right arm shaking and his back was against the door while he was kneeling, hiding his face in his knees. Mina, Izu, said a voice outside and didn't answer. I know you're here. I saw you at the fountain. The freckled boy opened his eyes. Look, that idiot doesn't know what she's missing. If you need to talk. I'm here, you know. You're incredible at everything. You're attentive, tender, strong, and above all you're the bravest person. Don't make me break down the door, Izu. He hears a small laugh inside and then seconds later the door opens and the girl lunges in for a tender hug and the freckled boy doesn't deny it and just returns it. At night. At the party there were those from Class A and Class B in the room. Mina was annoyed, almost burning Setsuna with her gaze while she dodged the questions of some curious people from Class A. In the elevator I go down to show the freckled one. At that point, Kaminari, Mineta, Toru and Uraka are the first to head over with the intention of asking her about her date, but Setsuna and her president make their way in first. At that point Kaminari, Mineta, Toru and Uraka are the first to head over with the intention of asking her about her date, but Setsuna and her president make their way through first. Kendo/Setsuna, we're sorry Midoriya, they said out loud, it wasn't our intention. Kendo, it was just a silly bet. Setsuna, I shouldn't have cancelled on you the same day either. And when you were already outside everyone heard that and expected the worst reaction from the freckled boy, but Izuku, no problem, he smiles with a glow that came off. I understand and I'm not bothered, it's just a new experience, I forgive them. Kaminari, Dad, you're the best, surprised by the answer. Kirishima, that's masculine. The pink girl couldn't help but smile when she saw the boy but noticed that even though she smiled the boy still looked sad. Minutes after that the party had already started and the freckled boy began to talk to some of the class, and with Setsuna and Kendo, who when talking to Izuku felt even more guilty, in that Mina approaches the boy. "Mina, can I steal it for a moment?" she said boldly, pulling Izuku. "Izuku, Mina?" Confused. "Mina, you were very soft on them." "Izuku, they apologized and they're sorry, that's enough." "Mina, you are too good for your own good." "Izuku, maybe." Izuku doesn't finish speaking when he feels something warm on his cheek. It was nothing more than Mina's lips. Mina, but also very tender. The now bundle of nerves known as Izuku was in a mess, covering his face with his hands as the girl walked away with a laugh. Time passed, and as expected from the promoters of the Lita party, he began to get strict and left them with no other option than to take out the secret weapon. "Lita, alcohol?" "Sero, just a little, my friend, there is something for everyone." "Mina, even Kendo is drinking," pointing to the girl who was standing next to some of the B class with a can in her hands. "Lita, but we are future heroes." "Kaminari, just a little, friend." On the other side of the party something similar was happening with another group. "Shoto, why don't you try it?" he said next to Momo and Tsuyu. "Izuku, I don't know the truth, I've never taken it." "Tokoyami, me neither, what do you say, Midoriya?" "Uraka, come on Deku-kun, Tokoyami-kun, it will be fun and we can celebrate the victory against the League." "Shoji, and remember the fallen," offering some cans with his arms. "Tokoyami, well," he said, grabbing the can to look at the freckled boy, still doubtful. The freckled man saw out of the corner of his eye how the pink-haired girl had a can in her hand and was toasting with the blue-haired man, still hesitant but giving in. "Izuku, just one, okay." "Kaminari, 3 in the morning." "Toru, let's take a roll call of who's there," she said animatedly. "Kolo," said the lightning. It was 3 in the morning and few were left at the party. Everyone from Class B had left except for Yui, Pony, Setsuna, and Kendo. "Mina, Izu, can you stand still for a second and Kendo will stop playing along." From Class A were still present Kaminari, Sero, Mina, Toru, Kyoka, Kirishima, Tsuyu, along with Todoroki, where they were affectionate and the life of the party and least expected Izuku Midoriya. "Izuku, are you jealous, Mina?" he said almost without stuttering, but with alcohol or not Mina was still Mina, the girl he liked, and made him nervous. "Mina, almost Izu," she said, drawing Izuku to where the group was. You may wonder how Izuku Midoriya was the life of the party and managed to last longer than most, drinking, where now he seemed like an unattainable source of energy. Since Izuku entered party mode he was completely sociable. He proved to be a great dancer, starting with Uraka, who left to take the president of 1A to his room and never came back, creating a theory that Toru and Mina argued, where Mina only fanned that flame so as not to feel guilty about not allowing Izuku to accompany them for fear that Uraka would try to make a move on Izuku in that state, although Izuku staying did not go as well as she thought. "Kendo, you surprise me a lot, Midoriya," she said, somewhat agitated. "Izuku, I had dancing as a hobby, so it's normal." The freckled boy, seeing that his first dance partner and best friend had disappeared, lost his shame and began to dance with several girls from Class A and continuing with those from Class B, starting with Setsuna, Pony, Yui, Tsuyu being stolen by Shoto, then Kyoka, Yamomo, Toru, and Kendo, who seemed to have monopolized him for a long time, causing inexplicable annoyance on the part of the pink girl. "Tsuyu, guys, I'm going to take Todoroki to his room," she said, somewhat blushed, going with Todoroki to the elevator. "Sero, and so there are 2 more," he said, taking a drink from his can. "Toru, not counting the lovebirds who left, there are 11 of us." "Kendo, what could we do now, since they interrupted my dance with Midoriya?" trying to get closer to the boy, but he was more interested in stealing glances at the pink girl who was blushing and avoiding the boy's gaze. In that Mina could see a sad face as she saw how Kirishima sat next to her and rested his head sleepily. That look said things, but she didn't want to speculate. After all, Izuku likes Uraka, right? "Kaminari, how about karaoke?" "Kyoka, I think that's great," she said excitedly. "Mina, if no one has a problem or shame in singing," she looks, trying to provoke the freckled man. For those in Class A it seemed like a cliché. Mina bothers Izuku and he blushes, but this time they didn't count on the fact that Izuku had his sights set on a pink-haired girl the whole time and this was his chance. "Izuku, are you challenging me, Pinky?" he said in a flirtatious tone, surprising everyone and making Mina blush. "Mina, well, the girl was now so nervous that she stepped back as the boy approached, making her crash into one of the tables. "Izuku, oh look, my drink, he said, grabbing a can from behind the girl. How stupid of me. The surprise was evident, and even more so when Izuku Midoriya had made Mina Ashido blush. It was the world upside down. Kaminari, so you want to sing first? He hands her a microphone that was previously used for some of Kyoka's songs at the request of the classes and other classmates. Izuku, give me that microphone, he said, to turn to see the redhead, who seemed to be still asleep. This song is new, and also since the pink one challenged me, it will be for her. Mina, what, me? Toru, kya, he shouted. How daring Midoriya. Izuku, you won't have a problem, right? He said, provoking the girl. How much do you like it, Kaden? 0 o'clock, Izuku approaches and begins to sing to the girl, who is blushing more, while the other girls of Class B looked with envy at Mina. Those of Class A were only surprised by how daring Izuku was, but everyone agreed that his voice was perfect for the song. 0:53, the freckled boy pinkens his lips and holds the word kiss you while the girl unconsciously soaks her lips. Kaminari and Sero were recording Izuku when he turned his face away from the girl, who was now a sea of nerves. Kirishima, who woke up more than annoyed, was impressed since he saw it as an innocent joke and revenge from Izuku to Mina. What did surprise him was that Mina blushed immensely and seemed to enjoy it. The freckled boy looks into her eyes, 110, and surprisingly grabs her by the waist to attract her. The more he sang, the closer he got to the girl. 134. The freckled boy separates his mouth from the microphone and begins to sing to her even closer, so much that the girl is only surprised to feel the heat emanating from the boy's body and his mint breath that she had been eating throughout the party. The closeness was so much that she would swear their lips touched, and the girl prepared for a kiss, but 138. Izuku releases her, causing her to blush more and press her back against the wall, feeling her heart racing, while Izuku just looks at her with a mocking face and continued singing. 233. Izuku takes advantage of the girl still making a mess to lock her up, and with his arms leaving the microphone on the table next to just when the beat ends, give a kiss near the girl's lip that they could swear they saw her blow smoke out of her ears. Kyoka, wow, I practically speak for everyone here. Before giving him a kiss on the cheek, Izuku could notice Kirishima's somewhat annoyed look, which was why he had used all his willpower not to kiss him, something that seemed impossible to him. Izuku, excuse me, he said, separating himself. I think I'm going to sleep now. Will you join me, Mina? He said to the girl, who was still imprisoned in his arms, who only nodded to the annoyance of a redhead. Before exchanging words, Izuku goes with Mina to the elevator. Sero, mental note to give Midoriya alcohol. In the elevator there was only silence. It seemed that consciousness had returned to Izuku, who now seemed even more nervous than normal, something that was noticed by the pink one. Mina, it seems like you had too much to drink, she said, still blushing but recovered a little and looking at the time on her cell phone. That's how you're going to win over Uraka. She sees his confused face. Come on, don't play dumb with me. You even invited her to dance with almost all the girls at the party except me. That last bit with a pout. Izuku, Mina, the elevator doors open. Mina, here's your stop, you can walk there. She feels the freckled man take her by the hand and take her out of the elevator. What's wrong? Izuku, I can't take it anymore. The freckled boy was all blushing. I've liked you since the first months at UA. The girl opened her eyes wide. Mina, you say that because you're drunk, you like Ura. She didn't finish speaking when she felt something warm in her mouth. Mint flavor, was the first thing Mina thought when she saw how the freckled boy gave her a short kiss that surprised her even more. Izuku, I may be drunk, but that doesn't change my feelings, it only allows me to express them. He gives her another kiss. I like your enthusiasm. As always, you try to be a cute and fluffy pink light for the whole classroom. He kisses her. I like it when you smile. That's why sometimes they scolded me, because I got distracted when you smiled and talked to Toru instead of paying attention in class. He gives her another kiss. I like your horns, your hair, your pink color that looks perfect on you and only makes you unique, like your beautiful eyes. He gives her another kiss. And I like it when you bother me, because I feel that you are interested in me even a little. He gives her one last kiss and can see how the boy cries. Sorry, but I just wanted to give you my first kisses because I like you, Mina Ashido, and I understand if you don't want to talk to me after that. Now the girl was the one kissing Izuku. Words were unnecessary at that moment, where only Izuku had cornered the girl again, but this time the girl didn't seem to be nervous or anything. She put her hands on the boy's neck while he grabbed her waist with one hand, while with the other he had her forearm on the wall. The kissing session was intensifying, who knows, because of the alcohol or because of Freckled's feelings and now the surges of mind that were coming to the surface more and more with each kiss. The girl attracted the boy's hair with her hands on his head and introduced her tongue, surprising the freckled boy a little, who did not hesitate to follow her. The kissing session that only stopped to regain air and continue again lasted 10 minutes, until in one last kiss Izuku separated, feeling like his heart was coming out of his chest and seeing the girl who was panting after such an intense moment. Mina, Izuku. If you want we could try. Izuku, really? He said, almost shouting. Mina, The truth is that these days that I have lived with you I have felt things that I never felt before, and whenever I bothered you it was because I thought the way you acted was cute, although if I compare it to the Izu of now, she approaches and gives him a short kiss that the boy reciprocates. Izuku, do you like this version of me better? He said with a little fear. Mina, I started to have feelings for your normal form, and this isn't a version of you, it's just you, and there's only one Izu that I want to date. I told you that you could go on a date very soon, didn't I? Izuku, so you want to go out with me? With his eyes lit up. Mina, ask me, tomorrow or later or whatever, she said, somewhat confused. If everything you said is true, you will go to my room and tell me everything you just told me. Izuku, so it will be. He covers his mouth from shouting euphorically, I'll see you tomorrow, Mina. Mina, we could say goodbye in another way, she said flirtatiously. The freckled man didn't hesitate for a second and kissed her to enter her room. The girl walks to the elevator and then leans against the wall. Mina, oh my god, Izu likes me, and it seems that I like him too, remembers the whole party, of course, he danced with the girls to make me jealous. Could it be that I like him, or is it just the alcohol? Remembers the kiss and places a finger on her lips, it's impossible for me not to like him. If not I wouldn't, remembers how they were kissing and takes out her cell phone to realize how long they were kissing, making her blush more. At that the elevator door opens to show how his companions were what looked tired and ready to sleep. Kirishima, mine? Toru, friend, I thought you were with Midoriya. Kissing the girl blushes again. Mina, it's not just that Izuku couldn't find the key to his room. Toru, but the rooms don't have a lock. Mina, that's why it took us so long, she said nervously. Kirishima, Mina, he approaches the girl with clear intentions. Mina, Eijiro, you are very drunk, covering the boy's mouth and pushing him away. Kaminari, so between you and Midoriya? Mina, he just apologized for the song, he said he took advantage of being drunk to get revenge for the whole year. Sero, of course that was it, Midoriya wouldn't be able to kiss her for real. Everyone in the elevator laughs at the comment. Kyoka, although with how drunk I was, and I remind you that Midoriya defeated all for one, I don't think a kiss is that scary. That made several people think, but they were so drunk that their ideas didn't connect. In the morning, Mina was waking up in her bed with brief memories of what had happened that seemed like a dream. That idea was interrupted by the sound of a door that forced the girl to get up, who was only wearing a shirt with small straps and black shorts. Mina, why do they play so early? She said, not knowing the time. Izu. She said, surprised. Then it wasn't a dream. Izuku, I was afraid it would have been, he said, stuttering as he usually did and looking away. Mina. I like you. Right now the freckled boy was silent and blushing, looking at a plate of pancake. The girl was only eating with a slight headache for what seemed like 24 hours. Mina, aren't you going to eat? She said, watching as the boy just stared at the plate. The girl noticed how the freckled boy began to murmur. He had lost himself in his world again, which only generated a small laugh when she saw how the freckled boy began to blush, while in the murmurs the name of the pink one could be distinguished. Flashback. Mina, why do they play so early? She said, not knowing the time. Izu. She said, surprised. Then it wasn't a dream, she said without thinking, when she saw a freckled boy who was shaking with fear but didn't take his eyes off the girl. Izuku, I was afraid it would have been, he said, stuttering as he usually did and looking away. Mina. I like you. The girl couldn't hold back her laughter at Izuku's statement, which was misinterpreted by the freckled boy, and he was about to leave when the girl's voice stopped him. Mina, gosh, calming down her laughter, you are so sweet. Izu, when I told you to come early and tell me what you felt, I didn't mean it so literally. I had barely gotten up, she said, already calmer, and looked up to see how the freckled boy had teary eyes, which made her realize her mistake. Sorry. It's just that you caught me off guard and I didn't expect you to be so direct, she said, embarrassed as she rubbed her arm. If you want, come in as soon as I got up, but we could talk more privately. Izuku, why? You don't have to apologize, Mina. I know that the girl I like is very lively and it's already 11, he said with his usual stutter. The girl blushed since Izuku had repeated again that she was the girl he liked. They both entered the room and then saw how the girl's clothes that she had worn yesterday were still on the floor, and the girl was in a black tank top and pink shorts. The freckled boy was not a pervert and used all his strength to not see the girl's thighs while she was sitting on the bed. This was noticed by the pink-haired girl, who decided not to comment on anything. Mina, sorry about what I said outside, I'm just nervous, it's the first time a guy has confessed his love to me. Izuku, breakfast, he said, blushing, trying to keep his gaze on the ground. I could invite you to breakfast like last time, with his usual stuttering and more blushing. Mina, good idea. We can't talk about that on an empty stomach. Izu, the girl, approached and gave him a kiss on the cheek that surprised the boy, who just looked at the ground on the verge of fainting. Get out, or do you want to see me change, she said flirtatiously, and then threw a little acid at the boy on the exposed part of his clothes. Izuku, ouch, but thanks, he said, knowing that what followed after the joke was fainting. I'll be right out. I'll wait for you outside the rooms. With that said, the freckled boy left the building, passing through the living room where everything was in chaos, and he called himself an idiot for being so direct, and he reconsidered if Mina was even going to come, but the kiss on the cheek gave him hope. The minutes passed and Mina appeared to go straight to the cafeteria. End flashback. The freckled boy came out of his thoughts to look up a little and see Mina with the plate almost empty. Izuku, I think I should eat, he said, embarrassed. Mina, Izu, relax, you're very nervous, said the girl after chewing, as if he wasn't nervous anymore. She giggled at the freckled boy, which made him smile and start eating. When she finished eating the pink one, she only dedicated herself to watching the boy who was eating, looking at the plate, blushing, and then finishing and noticing the girl's gaze. Izuku, do I have something on my face? He said nervously, avoiding the girl's gaze. Mina, at night it was me who avoided his gaze and now it's him. She smiled, it's just that you're a little trembling bush, it seems like we're not friends. Or you forgot all the times we were in my room secretly, in a mischievous tone. Izuku, don't say that, Mina, he said, blushing but without stuttering. We are friends after all, right? He said with a little pain in his words. The girl noticed it and decided to get up to stand next to the boy, who, more than nervous, became serious, although his right hand gave away the fear he had at this moment. The girl moved her arm to Izuku's right and began to caress the scars on the boy's arm. Mina, Izuku, do you remember everything exactly? She said seriously. Izuku, yes. His arm had calmed down, thanks to the girl, but contrary to what he believed, the girl only continued playing with his scars. Mina, and everything you said is true? Izuku, every word. And I understand that you were also drinking alcohol. It's amazing what alcohol can do, right? He said with some pain. I know what you're going to say. Mina, oh yeah? She said curiously. Izuku, what happened last night was a mistake. We are good friends, and although that is not going to change my feelings, I can tolerate you being happy with a real man like Kiri. The boy could only stop talking when he felt the taste of gum on his lips. It was something magical. The mint flavor that Mina remembered from the boy's lips was nothing compared to those of now that she was in all her senses. It seemed that she could get drunk with just the boy's kisses. For Izuku's part, he could not believe it. It took him a few seconds to assimilate the situation and clumsily follow the girl's kiss in the short seconds that felt long and pleasant for both of them. Mina, it's obvious you don't understand women, Izu. Izuku, does this mean you like me? Mina, for sure, remembers what happened with Setsuna and Kirishima and Setsuna and Izuku. Do you remember that day I called you at lunch? Izuku, did the bell ring? He said, somewhat nervous and blushing like the girl. Mina, that day Setsuna kissed Kirishima and I found him. The freckled boy now feared that he was going to be used for revenge. That day the first thing that came to mind was to support him as a friend, believing that I liked him. But also that day Kirishima told us that she was interested in you too, and I felt something inexplicable that I never felt with anyone, as if my heart was tightening and I only thought about calling you and seeing you. At first I thought it was because of what you had told me and I didn't want someone like her to hurt you, although when you accepted the date and told Uraka everything about the date. Izuku, did you hear me? Mina, I spied on you, she said, blushing. I realized that I didn't want you to go out with her because I didn't like the idea of you starting to go out with girls other than me, she said, looking the boy in the eyes. I think I like you, Izuku, and I would like to find out with you. Izuku, so you want to be my girlfriend? Mina, of course, silly. She gives the boy a kiss on the cheek. I can't wait to tell everyone that. She remembers Uraka and that makes her feel bad. Well, if you want, she said nervously. Izuku, can I ask you a favor, Mina? He said, blushing to earn the girl's curious look. We could keep it a secret. In case you maybe discover that you're not in love with me or something, not have that pressure of class. And I still don't feel ready to tell everyone. Mina, I understand, she said happily. Lend me your cell phone. Izuku, what for? He said to give him his cell phone that didn't have a password. The girl takes a surprise photo of both of them through a message on both of their cell phones. Without the uniform. Mina, from now on this will be your wallpaper and not All Might, she said, changing the settings. Also now you won't be able to have me, only my. Mina, from now on this will be your wallpaper and not All Might, she said, changing the settings. Also now you won't be able to have just my. She saw that Izuku had some hearts in Mina's contact, which made her blush since no one else had any emoticons. Wow. Izuku, what happened? Mina, having my name with hearts without being a couple is very shameless of you, Izu, she said maliciously to see the blushing boy, and without security, anyone who saw your cell phone would have seen that and suspected that you like it. Izuku, and aren't I obvious? Mina, I thought you liked Uraka and that she was Mew. She fell silent. Izuku, Uraka is my first friend and that's why she's very important to me. But when I saw Mina was when I knew what it was like to fall in love, he said, looking at the table to feel the girl's hug. Mina, you are so tender and so cute. The girl hugged the freckled boy and then felt him return the hug. It felt good to have the other's contact. Now put a password. You don't want someone to see that you have the prettiest girl in the class separating from the hug. Izuku, then everyone would envy me, and even if I wanted to, it's a lot of attention, he said now with his cell phone in his hand. Mina, plus we'll have photos of our dates, she said excitedly. Izuku, date? He stuttered doubtfully. Mina, of course having a date is an important part of being a couple. Or do you not want us to be seen in public either? Izuku, of course I want a date, he shouted happily and then realized and got embarrassed to the girl's amusement. Mina, I'm glad to hear that you get so excited about the idea of dating. Izuku, the truth is that I have many ideas that have occurred to me while watching you throughout the year, he said embarrassed. Mina, typical of you, Izu. By the way, that's what you were mumbling about this time. Izuku, you didn't understand? Mina, I only heard my name several times. Izuku, we better leave it like this, it doesn't matter anymore, he said, so that the girl made a tender pout in Izuku's eyes. You are also cute. Very cute, he said, embarrassed to see how he managed to turn the girl into a beautiful lilac color, and he was glad to know that his words were capable of making her blush. Their happiness was interrupted by an incoming message in the group where some literal people seemed to be sending their testaments between those lit, which caused the laughter of both. A message asking for someone to be the hero of heroes and buy something for breakfast for everyone. Mina, we could say yes and thus explain why we go out together if someone is already in the room when we arrive. Izuku, that's a very good idea. The girl wrote that she had gone out to buy something to eat and could bring breakfast. The freckled man, to cover up, wrote that he had gone out to train and that he could meet up with Mina to bring breakfast. They had a conversation in the group chat where outside of it they were laughing about having each other literally next to each other. They asked for the orders for their friends. Izuku, Mina, the freckled boy blushed when he saw his now girlfriend turn around curiously. Can I give you a kiss? The girl's cheeks turned lilac at the freckled boy's chivalrous request and she just nodded to close her eyes, waiting for Izuku's kiss that didn't take long to arrive. It was somewhat short, but for both of them each kiss they gave each other was like rockets on a clear night. When they separated and saw how their order arrived, they hadn't realized, or at least the pink-haired girl hadn't realized, how they were going to pay for all that food. Izuku, accept hash, he said, taking out a card to the surprise of the girl who was carrying 2 bags and then watching as Izuku used his black whip to grab the rest. Mina, so you had a card, she said, leaving with the freckled man. Izuku, they gave it to me after my first internship with Sir. You don't pay them? Mina, no? She said curiously. Izuku, Todoroki and Kachan were paid for our internships with Endeavor. It was almost nothing, but it was worth something. Mina, the benefit of being good in classes, I guess. The boys arrived at the dumpster that was the living room to find some awake who cried when they saw the curly boys entering the place. Some time later Izuku was in his room coming out of his bathroom and still not believing that Mina was his girlfriend until he received a message. Mina, I know it's usual for the guy to ask us out, but I'm really excited. How about we have our first date now that we get out of school before Christmas? The freckled boy just blushed and smiled to answer yes. We'll set up a time later with little hearts, and then fell onto the bed and sighed. Izuku, this is real, he said happily. Another morning, and as always the early risers got up early, but not to have their daily routine, but to pack their things. Among them was Izuku, who got up with a smile. The first thing he did was turn on his cell phone, which as a lock screen had the All Might logo but with a password which only generated warmth in the freckled boy. He wrote 4 letters, and with those 4 letters he unlocked one of the happiest moments he had ever had in his cell phone at the same time. Izuku, I still don't believe it. After writing a good morning message, even knowing that the girl was still sleeping, the freckled boy got up to look in the mirror, noticing that he was shirtless, and just smiled. She noticed me. Her arm began to tremble, almost making her drop the cell phone that luckily the clueless freckled boy managed to catch with a whip from his other hand to laugh at what happened while putting on a shirt nothing can ruin. Katsuki, damn deku, the freckled boy just sighed and smiled to walk to the door. Izuku, hey Kachan, what? Katsuki, let's fight, damn deku. Izuku, Kachan, I want to get my things ready early, he said calmly, so I can do my research for a date with me. His thoughts were interrupted when the ashen-haired boy grabbed him by the collar of his shirt and lifted him up. "Katsuki, didn't you hear?" he said, annoyed. "Let's fight. Do you think that by defeating the cheap villain you are better than me?" "Izuku, Ka-chan, I'm busy now," he said nervously. "Katsuki, come on, you're just a useless person with a free quirk, show me that you deserve it." "Izuku, Ka-chan," the freckled boy just lowers his gaze. The ashen-haired boy blew up the green-haired boy's face so that he was thrown towards one of the walls. "Izuku, hey?" The freckled boy gets up furiously. "Katsuki, are you going to fight, damn deku?" "Izuku, you can leave me alone," he said, whispering. Seeing that the green-haired boy was reluctant to fight, he only had one option. The desperation to prove that he was the best only brought out the worst in him. "Katsuki, come on, you damn deku. Why do you always have to be so useless? You should already give up that damn power, you don't deserve it, you were just a tool and you've already done your job. Or don't you realize, do you think anyone here sees you as anything more than a crybaby who was lucky enough to defeat all for one? Come on, you idiot, show me." The ashen-haired man just goes blank when he sees how the freckled boy just started to cry. Clearly Izuku was never someone with emotional stability or healthy self-esteem. The pressure he was going through days before everything with Mina happened seemed to have vanished. But like a wolf stalking its prey, there it was waiting for the moment to attack him. "Katsuki, deku. You know what, learn not to let those things affect you if you're going to be a hero," he said before walking towards the door and leaving, but not before taking a look at the boy. Some time later. A pink girl just woke up from her sleep, rolling around in bed, refusing to separate from it. She reached for her cell phone as she could, just smiling when she saw that she had a message from Izuku. "Mina, even on vacation, you're not able to get up late," she said to herself. The girl hummed a happy song and thought of ways to annoy Izuku to the point of blushing, all this while she was getting ready for a new day. The girl left her room to meet her classmates and more with Lita, who prepared breakfast for everyone early as a farewell. "Uraka, good morning guys," she said, entering after Mina. "Has anyone seen Deku-kun?" "Todoroki, he might have gone out to train." "Lita, I don't think so. I woke up early and Midoriya hasn't left or returned. I even have his breakfast here," moving her hands like a robot. "Tsuyu, it's strange that Midoriya hasn't come down." "Denki, maybe he fell asleep," he said from the couch watching television. "Mina, he can't be asleep, he wrote to me early." The girl finished her plate and then got up and washed it. "If you want, I can bring you breakfast." "Lita, you are very kind." Ashido. In the freckled man's room. "Mina, Izu, are you there?" She heard slow steps to find Izuku with wet hair and a towel. The girl was dazzled by the boy's body and slowly lowered her gaze. "Control yourself, Mina." The girl looked up blushing to see the somewhat sad look. "How did you wake up? I thought you had woken up a while ago." Izuku, yes, it's that I fell asleep," he said seconds later, realizing that he was without clothes, to which he immediately blushed and quickly closed the door, leaving the girl laughing. "Mina, so it wasn't a move to provoke me?" she said in a mocking tone. Izuku, of course not, said the freckled boy behind the door, very nervous. Minutes later. "Mina, keeping your girlfriend waiting is rude, you know?" Izuku, sorry Mina, he bows. "Just when I heard it was you, I didn't want to keep you waiting." "Mina, at least you gave me a good view." Izuku, don't say that." "Mina, can you be less tense?" she said happily. "We are." She looks at both sides, secret lovers. The girl was now able to have fun with the reaction of the freckled boy, who now seemed to be on the verge of a heart attack. "I brought breakfast." The freckled boy, who was still in the middle of an attack but blushed when he saw the breakfast. "Izuku, you made it for me?" "Mina, I wish I could, but if I had done it I would be burned," she said, sticking out her tongue. "Izuku, it would be you who would do it anyway," looking at the ground, blushing. "Mina, thanks, blushing. "Will you invite me in?" Izuku, sure. They both go to the room and sit down to eat. "Mina, then why were you sad?" she said without shame. "Izuku, he said to look at the girl. "Mina, come on Izu, you're an open book." The comment makes the freckled boy blush. "Does it have something to do with why you didn't go out?" The girl just sighs as she sees the boy looking out the window. "Izuku, it's complicated. Ka-chan came early and wanted to fight, but I really wanted to organize things to leave. As always, Ka-chan provoked me and tried to make me fight, and then he said things that are only true," he said with his head down. The girl started to complain, but the freckled boy spoke. "But you came and made me forget all that." "Mina, you are so cute." Izu, she hugged him from behind, making the boy blush and even more when the girl gave him a kiss on the cheek. "Well, I'll leave you, I have to organize everything." Izuku, if you want, I'll help you, he said, blushing. Mina, do you want to see my underwear? She said mischievously, we are a couple but we still can't stop with all that green stuff. Izuku, what? The freckled boy was in a mess, although the image of the pink girl in underwear crossed his mind, an image that he quickly shook off. Izuku, come on, she's your girlfriend, do something, you don't want her to get bored of you. The girl was leaving when Izuku grabbed her before knocking on the door and turned it so that she was left with her back to the door and stunned and blushing at the same time because of the freckled man's action. Izuku, you forgot something, he said, trying not to stutter and succeeding. The girl had to admit it, Izuku, when he sets his mind to it, could be the sexiest boy in the world, and this was one of those moments. The freckled boy had her cornered. The hunter felt trapped for the first time and saw how the freckled boy approached, feeling her breathing, to which she instinctively closed her eyes, waiting for the contact of their lips. Izuku, we still haven't agreed on when we're going to have our date, he said in the girl's ear, who shuddered, causing her lilac cheeks to be more evident as she opened her eyes. Mina, well. If you want, the day after tomorrow. Izuku, at noon? He said, still close to the girl, looking her in the eyes. Mina, why yes, the girl felt like Izuku's gaze was devouring her. It was a feeling of warmth with mischief that she was loving, and to finish, Izuku seemed so sure of himself that it made her nervous. Izuku, it's a date, he said, to approach and give her a kiss on the cheek. See you, Mina. The girl, still stunned and blushing, just leaves the room. Apparently a kiss on the cheek was enough for Mina for now, while the freckled boy. Izuku, I did it, he was blushing and almost jumping with joy as he remembered the girl's blushing face and let himself fall onto the bed. It's like everything is solved with her, he said inside. Time passed and everyone was organizing everything to leave. Some just said goodbye via group chat and others, Lita, went to the door to say goodbye to their companions. Later in the afternoon some had lunch and left, others were just coming down. Izuku and Mina were some of those people. Izuku, oh Mina, are you going to have lunch? He said, blushing. Mina, hi Izu, are all your things there? She said when she saw Izuku carrying 2 boxes and a bag. Izuku, not everything. I asked Lita if she could take some boxes down to my mother's house, now with her new car. Mina, they gave him a car for Christmas, she said, still surprised. Izuku, he's the most responsible. The elevator opens. Uraka, Deku-kun, are you leaving? Izuku, I wanted to have lunch first, he said, leaving one of the boxes in the place, although I thought it would be just with Mina. Uraka, let's go together, I can help you. Izuku, eh? He said, blushing, don't you have to carry things too? Uraka, Lita. While in the middle of the street. Lita, the next house belonged to Kirishima. The blue-haired man was in his new car with his brother, who was just laughing and had some boxes at his feet and saw in the mirror how there were only boxes in the back. Kensei, you are too helpful. Lita, it's what a hero and class representative does. Back to school. Uraka, well then. With my quirk it could be easier, we could even go eat together, she said, blushing, playing with her fingers. Izuku, well. You're right about that. Let me say goodbye to everyone. The freckled man goes to the group that was in the living room. The whole scene was seen by the pink-haired girl, who only sadly watched Uraka, excited and blushing because the freckled boy accepted the proposal. Mina, he really likes Izu a lot. The girl only made him feel bad and jealous to a certain point. It seemed that Uraka really was very much in love with Izuku. She accepted Izuku as a boyfriend for reasons that seemed right to her. One was that Izuku had worked up the courage and come to her room after kissing her. He could have hidden from her until next year, but he decided it was time to show his feelings. And another was that she was also feeling something for the freckled boy, a different, warm affection that hugs you and makes you feel safe. She didn't know if it was love. She had just decided to give the freckled boy a chance to finish confirming her feelings, but seeing Uraka so excited, so in love, only made her feel like a horrible friend. Mina, is it too late to tell Izuku that we should stop being a couple? While thinking, the girl had walked to the kitchen, entering and being alone, still absorbed in her ideas. It's the best way. Uraka won't get hurt and I don't think Izu can hate me. Or will she? She was depressed about having to leave Izuku, but a heroine had to be altruistic and willing to give up her happiness for others, no matter how excited she was to have a relationship with. Her thoughts were interrupted when she felt arms around her back. She turned her head to see who it was and could see a green mane. It was Izuku, who was hugging her so lovingly, and even with his eyes closed and a noticeable blush, he decided to speak. Izuku, why you looked so cute, distracted that I couldn't help it, he said, almost without stuttering, hugging the girl. Now that we are a couple, I don't have to keep these things to myself. I hope I don't bother you. As fireworks could describe what she felt when she was hugged by the boy by surprise, she never expected Izuku to be that way with her considering how shy he was. Mina, so what save things? She said, stuttering with a lilac tone on her cheeks, and then calmed down and returned to her normal state. You are very fearless, Izu. The girl turns around and hugs him. Izuku, I hope you don't mind me going with Uraka, he said, embarrassedly separating from the hug. Mina, it's not like you're going to kiss her, right? She said jokingly. Izuku, oh of course not, the only girl I want to kiss is Mina. Without warning, the girl approached the boy and stole a soft kiss that didn't last long, but it was enough to explode Izuku's mind. Mina, see you on our date, write to me when you get home. She taps his nose with her finger and leaves the room. Mina may want to be a heroine, but she decided to put her happiness first, at least this time. At least today Mina decided to be selfish.